Okay. Hello, everyone. Hello. Let's close that door. I am Chimoge, and this is Chimoge's Comments America. Thank you all so much for joining me again tonight. I do these live streams every week at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time plus African time. Tonight, the African time is taking us to 8:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Is what it is. I'm gonna begin today, but as usual, I'm gonna wait 4 minutes first. I'm actually gonna wait. I know I've usually been doing 4 minutes or until I get 4 likes. I think from now on I'll just do 4 minutes, like regardless of how many likes there are. But still, obviously, like, share, and subscribe. But yeah, I'm gonna wait 4 minutes. So see y'all again 4 minutes. Until then, I'll play some of my music for you as usual. Hold up. 4 minutes is up. Again, thank you all so much for joining me. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you're not on YouTube, and if you're watching this in the future, because this is a live on YouTube, but it's going to be going out on other platforms, of course, please also share the video as well. Like it and then follow or subscribe, whatever the word they use is on that platform. I was hoping I'd be able to do a multi-stream on this platform today, just like yesterday. I did my first ever multi-stream on Chimoge's comments. However, I've been fiddling with the StreamYard for like the last hour at least. Haven't been able to get that done, so sorry about that. I'll get that fixed pretty soon, and then I'll be multi-streaming, so then Facebook fam will be seeing me at the same time YouTube fam is, so will Twitch fan. I'm coming to Twitch very soon, and all that. But for now, it's just YouTube, although I am using Streamlabs rather for the very first time on this channel, so that's a plus. But anyway, enough about my technical difficulties. Let's get into the video for today. So I know y'all can see the title. This is a commentary reaction. I'm reacting to a video about the 10 countries that Black Americans are moving to. I'm gonna go ahead and share my, share my screen. I figured out how to do this yesterday for Chimoge's comments, and I think today I figured out how I can do this and show you all my beautiful face. Because on the stream I did yesterday on Chimoge's comments, you heard my beautiful voice, but while the video I was reacting to was playing, you didn't get to see my beautiful face. But today, you will get to see my beautiful face. I'm pretty sure anyway. But anyway, let me... Sorry, how do you do this again? Ooh... Wait a minute. Hold up. No, I have to add a source. Then display capture. Source. Okay, there we go. There we go. Forgive me, I'm 24, but my tech skills are currently like I'm 44. But we're working on that. We're working on that. Okay, so I think you can see my screen now. And then if I do this, y'all should be able to see my beautiful face. Okay, yeah, because I think when I do, let's make that smaller, make this bigger. Hold up. Let me just look at this thing on my phone to make sure it's coming up as I think it's coming up. Hold up. Let me just look at this thing on my phone to make sure it's coming up as I think it's coming up. And no, okay, I see. I see what the issue is. I made myself too big. Hold up. Hold up. Hold up. Forgive me, y'all. Forgive me. No, no, no. Let's see what we want to make. Okay, let's try this now. All right, we good to go. We good to go. All right. Yep, I should get the Tech Support of the Year award for doing impeccable tech work on myself. Tech support work on myself. But anyway, real talk, let's go. So anyway, the title of this video is 10 countries Black Americans are leaving America and moving to. It's from this YouTube channel called Black Excellent Excellist. I've never seen them. I've never even watched this video. But you know, maybe they got something good to offer. They certainly got a lot of subscribers. But y'all may be wondering why I'm talking about this on Shimoge's Comments America. Because, you know, you'd be like, well, why are you talking about people leaving America? Well, of course, if you remember one of the three main topics of the channel, because the three core topics of this channel are, one, the impending Civil War, right? 1861.2, 2.0 rather, in the U.S. Two, how Black Americans should vote. And three, the mass removal of Black Americans from the U.S. that's about to happen, right? So this is related to that third point, because in order to avoid getting caught up in that third thing I'm talking about, as a Black person living in America, we gotta leave, period. That's just the safest thing to do. And next week I'm gonna do a live and a lecture going in depth about why that is. But tonight I just want to give you all a taste by doing commentary on this, and hopefully with my commentary y'all kind of see where I'm coming from and what I'm talking about. But let's go.
It's online? Go to Wix.com and get your site up and running with it. We get down to the beat, y'all. We get down to the beat, y'all.
Hello and welcome back. In this original Black Excellence presentation, we will
Sorry, I just wanted to check the link.
highlight top 10 countries that Black Americans are relocating to.
Welcome to blackexcellence.com, the site where we share Black excellence, opulence, and affluence.
Okay, and already it's not looking promising from the beginning, because it looks like these people buy into the whole Black excellence nonsense, right? They put Jay-Z and Beyonce up there, a bunch of other Black people with their hair straightened in fancy Western clothes. So it doesn't look like they're going to be coming from this from the same angle I'm coming from it. So it doesn't look promising so far, but let's see. Let's keep watching. Maybe they'll surprise us. Don't judge a book by its cover, as they say.
Our mission is to inspire you as we enlighten you.
The term Blaxit is a fusion of the words Black and exit to refer to Black Americans exiting the U.S. and moving abroad. For many Black Americans, seriously exploring their options overseas provides them with living arrangements at a lower cost of living, access to better and more affordable health care, awesome climate, an escape from pervasive racism, cheaper retirement living, and an adventure in a new culture outside of the United States. We selected these 10 countries based on our...
Okay, pause right there. So, what the hell just happened? Sorry, I don't know what that is popping up there. All right, sorry, there it is. Sorry about that. But anyway, so again, already more evidence they ain't coming from the same angle I'm coming at it from, right? They ain't coming at this rather from the same angle I'm coming at this. Cause the number one red flag that jumped out to me there is they said that Black Americans are leaving the U.S. to escape racism. That ain't why we leaving. Overall, in a way, you could say it is, but really it isn't. And why is that? Because the reason we're leaving the U.S. is to avoid getting A, either deleted, or B, getting moved somewhere we don't want to be against our will. Those are the reasons we're leaving. We're not leaving because the other countries we're going to move to don't have racism. Racism is global. Racism against black people is global. It's literally everywhere. The only reason we leave in the U.S. is just because the particular things happening in the U.S. are going to make it such that it's likely that very soon they're going to wipe out most or all of the black people here. Whereas in certain other countries, even though they're doing a lot of nonsense to us, they're not going to delete most of us in those locations, all right? And again, I'll go into more depth in the lecture next week, but I'll probably say most of what I even have to say here now. Although, again, tune in next week because it'll fit together better. It'll probably make more sense. But yeah, I hope I give you all a taste. But already, the reason we're leaving isn't to escape any sort of racism. I think at best you could say we're leaving to escape one particular type of racism in the U.S. or one particular effect of racism that's happening in the U.S. But we're not leaving to escape anti-black racism. We're not leaving to escape racism against black people. That's everywhere. And even the type of racism against black people you encounter out of the country, it isn't less bad. It's just different, but it's not less bad, right? So yeah, but I'll go into that more in the future. That's one thing. The second thing I want to say is they mentioned finding a lower cost of living outside the U.S. Yes, cost of living is lower outside the U.S., but so is your income, right? So sure, things will be cheaper outside the U.S., but the amount of money you're going to be able to make within the worldwide economic system is going to be less, right? Like, a lot of work needs to be done to make it such that you can make all the money you really need to live outside the U.S., right? So again, we're not leaving the U.S. because we're going to find life there easier than what life is for us in the U.S. at this moment, okay? It's just that we don't want to get wiped off the face of the earth, okay? So it's a very nuanced reason we leave it. All right, but let's continue.
Our own research and information gathered from a collection of online stories from current Black expats and retirees who are now living in a variety of places in the four corners of the world. In this Black Excellence presentation, we will highlight in no particular order the top 10 countries that Black Americans are moving to. So without further ado, let's get started. Number 1, Costa Rica. This Caribbean country may be small in size, but it has so much to offer. The landscape is chock full of awe-inspiring geographical features, including rainforests, beaches, canyons, and even volcanoes. Black American expats will be pleased to know that 1/3 of the population identifies as Afro-Costa Rican, thus providing an African connection and also a place to discover the Afro-Caribbean culture, food, and music. Costa Ricans are laid-back, friendly, and happy people. Their culture is a vibrant blend of indigenous heritage and Spanish colonial influence, with a dash of various immigrant cultures lending character and customs. Costa Rica's low cost of living is one of its biggest draw cards, with housing 60% cheaper than the US. The quality of life here is exceptionally high. Healthcare is top quality, and the country has one of the highest life expectancies in the world. Moreover, the climate here is very favorable, allowing for plenty of sun for hanging out at the beach. Number 2, Panama.
Okay.
Although it's a small...
So I'm going to give my thoughts about each country they mentioned. So Costa Rica is not a place that Black Americans should be leaving the U.S. for. And the main reason, and when I say this, I hope y'all understand fully where I'm coming from with, what we should be looking at as far as where we move. I hope that when I say this, y'all understand the main criteria, the main thing we should be looking at when deciding where to move to. The reason Black Americans should not move to Costa Rica is because it is a minority Black country. Period. Because the whole reason we need to leave the U.S. is because since it's a minority Black country and the powers that be in the U.S. have decided to remove us, it's basically impossible for us to successfully fight them off because we're outnumbered. So why would you move from that situation into another situation where you're outnumbered? You only do that if you're foolish enough to believe that non-Blacks outside the U.S. like you more than the non-Blacks in the U.S. And that's just false. 100% false. No matter what country they're in, non-Blacks are not your friends. That's just the truth. So to move from the U.S. to another minority Black country somewhere else doesn't make any sense. Because that country could eventually decide to do the same thing to you. Okay? So we shouldn't even play like that, right? Because a lot of these countries are in sync. And to be fair, I've heard that in Latin America, they're less likely to fully delete their entire Black populations than the U.S. because they're still more dependent on our labor in most Latin American countries. I have heard that. However, from what I've seen, even if those Latin American countries don't fully delete the population, or they don't delete as high a percentage as the U.S. does, they're still probably going to delete a lot of them. Okay? They might delete up to half or more of their Black populations, right? Whereas if you go to a majority Black country, even though there's a lot of problems there because of the attacks on us, at least like 90% of the people there are going to survive, right? At least as of, the political situation that's going on now and in the medium to sort of longish term future, right? If you move to a majority Black country, say somewhere in the Caribbean, I mean, they said Costa Rica's in the Caribbean. It's really not. That's Central America. But in the Black parts of the Caribbean, right? If you move to Sub-Saharan Africa, if you move to Melanesia, right? Those are really the three regions. If you move there, short term, medium term, and kind of longish term, most of the Black people there are going to survive, right? So your odds of survival, your odds of staying on planet Earth are highest in a majority Black country, period. So because of that, it doesn't make sense to move somewhere in Latin America where you're still a minority. Let's go on.
country, Black expats are drawn to this incredibly picturesque country for its modern infrastructure, teamed with a warm climate, peaceful lifestyle, and beautiful tropical surroundings. There is a growing Black expat community here, particularly in Panama City, enticed by government incentives, discounts on goods, and low-cost medical treatment. The Panamanian people are known for being friendly, hospitable, and welcoming towards new arrivals. Black expats are pleased to discover that the country's cost of living is quite low. The cost of transportation is relatively cheap, and shopping in Panama is mostly duty-free. Panama is known for its lively carnival culture, beaches, and nightlife scene that includes a mix of friendly locals, expats, and tourists from around the world. The standard of healthcare in Panama is fairly good, and the country is relatively safe. Number 3, Belize. Surrounded by crystal...
Again, Panama. Say the same thing about Panama I said about Costa Rica. It's a minority Black country. Don't move there. Right? Don't move there. Everything I said about Costa Rica applies to Panama. It's a minority Black country. Why would you move there? Just because those non-Blacks are outside the U.S. doesn't mean they're going to like you more. Okay? So why move there? Doesn't make any sense. Right? And also, I will say, I think this video is also, minimizing the amount of hardship in these countries. Because again, these countries, these are still non-Western countries. These are still so-called developing countries. So, while life isn't gonna be as hard as you might see in some exaggerated depictions you might see in the West, okay? It's not like no one's ever happy there or whatever. It's not like they have literally nothing. It's going to be harder than life in the U.S. in terms of the resources you have available to you. So your standard of living is going to be lower, and standard of living measured in terms of your physical resources, right? Not intangibles, but in terms of your physical resources and the type of institutions that are out there to support you, your standard of living is going to be lower than the U.S. So if you move to Panama expecting to get a better standard of living in terms of material resources there compared to what you have in the U.S. now, you're going to be disappointed. And on top of that, a lot of that other stuff they said, both about the material resources, but also like, oh, the people are friendly, they have a nice nightlife. That does not apply to Black people. That's only for white people who go abroad and go there, and, other Eurasians who go abroad and go there. Black person who goes abroad and goes there, maybe if you're from America and you're there for a short period of time, you'll have that experience. Maybe. But any Black person, even if you're American and you want to settle there, then them Eurasians are really going to show their behind on you, okay? Those non-Black Panamanians are really going to show their behind on you. Those minority Black DNA Panamanians are really going to show their behind on you, okay? Because even a lot of those people in places like Panama probably are technically Black, right? They have a few drops in there. Because we know so-called indigenous people are really Blasians, right? Who are like 80, 90, 95% Asian, whatever, and then some drops of Black. But that drop isn't enough to prevent them from hating you. People who know you're Black, proud of it, and especially people who are visibly Black, who are like mostly or all Black in terms of your DNA, in terms of your ancestry. They see you with your dark skin, your big lips, your big nose. You come up there, the drops they got in their blood don't mean much. And that's just talking about the people with drops. The people who don't got any drops, East Asians, West Asians, Caucasians out there. If your Black behind comes there to settle, you think they're gonna show you a friendly nightlife? No. They're going to show you the last night of your life, okay? Let's be very clear on that. So don't move to Panama. Let's keep going.
clear Caribbean waters, Belize is unspoiled and pleasantly subtropical. This Central American paradise boasts a stable economy, long history of democratic government, and a strong respect for human rights and the environment. Belize is an excellent destination for Black expats who want a simple life surrounded by beautiful natural attractions, from its beaches to its rainforest. The government's positive attitude towards business, tax breaks, and favorable property prices attracts expats looking to start their own business. One of the many charms of Belize is its unique blend of people and its diverse culture, which is a melting pot of ethnicities, heritages, food, music, religions, and languages. The result is a friendly, accommodating people who live mostly in harmony. Black expats living in Belize enjoy a relatively low cost of living, and medical facilities are readily available in all but the most remote locations. Belize's balmy subtropical climate is one of its strong points, since there is little variation in temperature throughout.
So Black Lives Matter released their 990 IRS filings. They collected 80
F. Candace Owens, man.
Throughout the year. Number 4, Mexico. Although
again, I'll say the exact same thing about Belize that I said about Costa Rica and Panama. It's minority black, don't move there. Bottom line. Then on top of that, all that other stuff about nice cost of living, this, that, it ain't true, especially not for your black behind, okay? So don't mess around going out there. You see, when you have the idea that as a black person, you're gonna move from America to some minority black Central or South American country and get a better life, especially the idea that your whole group could do that and succeed long term, because you thinking like a white person, really. That's what's going on. You see all these white people who go to all these tropical locations, they have fun, all this stuff. You go, ooh, I can do that. Ooh, I have an American passport, I could do the same thing. Ooh, maybe once I travel and I had a nice week somewhere, I could make that my whole life. Nah, that's stupid. That's stupid. Don't work like that for your black behind. So just leave that foolishness behind. Just think with more sense and more logic. And I see Mexico coming up. My thoughts on Mexico are exactly the same, but let's watch it.
Media may often focus on the extreme negative perceptions of the country. Black expats soon realize that Mexico, with its blend of Spanish and indigenous cultures, has a lot of beautiful attributes and positive aspects too. There's a thriving community of Black expats in Mexico who not only indulge in the rich cultural celebrations, food, dance, and music, but also enjoy the awesome weather, diverse landscapes, and jaw-dropping scenery. The rich, colorful, vibrant culture of Mexico is heavily influenced by its strong traditions, customs, and heritage. Mexican people are as warm as the climate, and they treat foreigners well. Because of its proximity, Mexico is often the first place American retirees and digital nomads consider when looking at other countries with a lower cost of living. The healthcare system in Mexico is great and is different than that of the U.S. since it's not profit-driven. The general climate in Mexico is warm-temperate, and most of the country experiences year-round sunny weather. Number 5, Ghana. When discussing the countries that Black expats should...
Okay, again, my thoughts on Mexico are exactly the same. And, I think one other thing to consider and just remember again is that all these countries, even if the population is minority white people still run the place, right? Because white people unfortunately run the whole planet, right? So, again, I said it before, emphasizing this again, don't think you're gonna escape white supremacy, white domination, racism against blacks, whatever, by going to these countries. The question you have to ask yourself is, what is the likelihood that the entire black population in the country is going to be wiped out? And if the powers that be decided to try and wipe out the entire black population in that country, how many non-blacks would I have to fight to save my life? Huh? What would the blacks in the country be outmanned in the fight or not? In Mexico, just like all the other previous places, they would be outmanned. All right, they'd be outnumbered 10 to 1 or whatever it is. So you're not winning that fight. Because wherever you are on the globe, even on these majority black countries, you're going to have to fight the military of the powers that be, whether it be U.S., Great Britain, Russia, whatever, right? I mean, obviously, U.S. military is global, but a number of these other Eurasian, powerful Eurasian countries have pretty far-reaching militaries as well, right? You're going to have to fight them wherever you are. The thing that's going to tip the balance is your Eurasian private citizens, okay? Because if you in a majority Eurasian country, Joe from next door, when that order is given out, when they collectively decide to get rid of you, he's going to walk out of his front door, walk up to your house with his shotgun, and get active, okay? So again, when you're thinking about where to move, you have to ask yourself, how many Eurasians are around that are going to do that, that are going to pull that nonsense? Because in a majority black country, at least you don't have to deal with that variable, right? And that variable, that element, that possibility is the difference between them wiping out 10% of the country's black population and them wiping out 99% of the country's black population, okay? It is what it is. All right, let's keep going.
Consider relocating to. Ghana is definitely a legitimate frontrunner. For many black expats, life in Ghana may just be the multicultural experience of a lifetime due to its affordable cost of living, booming business opportunities, low crime rates, and stable democracy. In addition to being known for its lush forests, diverse animal life, national parks, waterfalls, Ghana is a populous, ethnically diverse country, with over 100 ethnic groups living there. Where this may be the source of conflict for many other African countries, the various ethnic groups in Ghana have managed to live in a peaceful coexistence, creating a wonderful cultural landscape. Ghanaians are very cheerful people and love to celebrate major festivals and events year-round. Ghana has a modern medical system that is funded and administered by the government, but healthcare insurance for expats is highly recommended. Number 6, Portugal.
Okay.
Europe is a very popular...
Ghana is the first country they listed that I approve of, and that's for the simple reason, as y'all could probably guess, that it is a majority black country. That's it, right? It's not even because of all that other stuff they talked about there with, nice people, whatever. Even though, Ghanaians are nice people. Shout out to Ghana. I know on the internet, Nigerians and Ghanaians like to beef, make jokes about jollof rice, but real life, real things going on. It's all love, right? But anyway, right? Because again, Ghana, like any developing country, right? The institutions aren't going to support you as much as they do in the U.S. And just most things are gonna be harder, right? In terms of how the system is set up, but at least everyone around you is black, so you're gonna avoid the mass deletion, right? And of course, there are other positives that majority black countries have, right? Like people value friendship more. A lot of intangibles are better, but the type of stuff they're listing, for the most part, because they really focus on tangible stuff. I mean, to be fair, I think they did mention like friendly people, but I'm talking about stuff like having a good economy. That coming from the U.S. is not going to look like a good economy to you, right? So that's not why you're moving there. But you're moving there to survive. And since Ghana is a majority black country, you will survive, right? So yeah, Ghana's a good option.
Popular destination for black expats, and Portugal sits at the top of the list. Sunny Portugal is a hidden gem.
After just 21 days, my teeth are the whitest that they've ever been. I cannot believe the results. I have
in Europe's crown, where the cost of living is among the lowest in Western Europe. The fashionable country due west of Spain is attracting young black expats, particularly entrepreneurs, given its incredible value and welcoming business incentives. Drawn by the comparatively low cost of living and some attractive tax benefits, Black Americans living in Portugal also enjoy beautiful beaches, a relaxed pace to everyday life, and the prevalence of English speakers. Portugal, with its welcoming locals and pleasant climate, offers expats a very good quality of life. American expats tend to live mostly in the more urban areas of Portugal. With its high-quality healthcare that comes at a fraction of the cost of the US, along with its ranking as the third safest country in the world, Portugal is a big draw for Black expats. Number 7. Senegal. Located in Western Africa, Senegal.
Portugal. I think going to Portugal is even crazier than going to any of the Latin American countries, because again, not only is that country minority black. I mean, you could argue that most Portuguese people might have some drops of black just because of history, maybe. But again, same thing as in Latin America. The drops, they're not going to mean a whole lot when it comes down to it, how they treat you personally and what side they're on when the order goes down, right? But it's even crazier than moving to the Latin American countries, because not only is Portugal minority black, very small minority black, but also it's literally in Europe. So Portuguese people have that European arrogance and that European anti-black mentality, that European white supremacy, okay? So if you want to move there as a Black American, I don't know if your head is screwed on right, honestly, with all due respect. Okay, I think you need to go get yourself checked out. Go to a healer. Have them look at your spirit. Have them look at your aura. Have them look at your synapses. Have them look at your brain. See what's not firing correctly, because something's wrong with you if you go to move there permanently for the long term. Like, that's a majority white country. This people out there ain't even saying, "Oh, I'm indigenous." These people are white, and they trying to be white. Okay, why would you move over there long term? Okay, doesn't make sense. So that's a crazy suggestion. But again, this channel, and again, no personal disrespect to the people who run this channel, but it looks like it's run by Negropeans, is what it is. But let's keep watching.
Is known for its hospitality, and most people are friendly, welcoming, and accommodating to non-local residents. With its modern culture and traditional heritage, living in Senegal offers a good infrastructure and amazing natural beauty. Called the gateway to Africa, Senegal is not only one of the continent's safest and most accessible countries, it is also blessed with a rich culture, dreamy beaches, and some of the best wildlife spotting opportunities you'll find anywhere in Africa. Senegal is a great destination for Black Americans looking to move to a place where they can reconnect with their ancestors. The philosophy of sharing, giving, and inclusion is extended to strangers and foreigners as well. Combining French and North African influences, the culinary experience is marked by spicy street food, exotic juices, and mouth-watering platters of fresh fish from the Atlantic. Healthcare in Senegal is of a good standard, and with the country's tropical weather, it's hot all year round. Number 8. Thailand. Thailand is the most livable...
Okay. Senegal, again, I think is a good option for the same reason as Ghana is a majority black country. Point blank period. 99.9% of the people in that country are black. So if the order ever goes out to remove all the blacks from the planet, you have the best chance of surviving there, because you can form one big block and fend them off, and they're not going to be able to send in human beings to penetrate that, really. So yeah, Senegal is a good option. Again, it's not gonna look like heaven to you. I mean, not that Senegal's not a great country full of great people. Shout out to the Senegalese. I'm just saying, from what an American's perspective of heaven is, right? Some place where, you know, you're not gonna find much violence. You're gonna have, you know, a lot of material resources. You're gonna get a lot of money, right? These are the kind of things Americans tend to talk about when talking about moving abroad. That's not gonna happen to you in Senegal. But you're gonna survive, right? The mass deletion effect, and you know, you might pick up. I mean, you will, if you live there, obviously pick up the benefits of living, the benefits that do exist of living in a majority black country. You're gonna appreciate human life more. You're gonna appreciate friendship more. You're gonna appreciate family more, right? But those, unfortunately, I know with respect to most of y'all listening to me in the audience, the, or at least most Americans. Let me assume the best of my audience. All right, I got the best audience, but to most Americans, those things I talked about are not really what they're focused on, and not things they value. When people are looking about where to live, or thinking about where to live, rather, they're thinking more of material benefits, and they're thinking with Western standards of development and all that. And Senegal is not gonna be good by those standards. So you really gotta change your brain around if you move to Senegal, like any of the other places that are Chimoge approved, right? You got to change your brain around to see the value in it. So bottom line, you're not moving there because it's valuable by Western standards of development. You're moving there, one, so you can survive, right? And then two, you will find other things that are valuable, just not what the West, aka white people, you know, tend to tell you is valuable. So, but let's go on.
Full of tropical paradises with strong infrastructure and incredibly low living costs. For years, its warm climate, inexpensive cost of living, and laid-back lifestyle have attracted tourists and black expats from America and around the world. Some of the world's most beautiful beaches are located in the south of this picturesque country. Much of Thailand's culture comes from the ethnic Thai people, and their friendliness is evident anywhere you go in the country, and there are always people wanting to engage with you. The Land of Smiles is a great place to live, with the wonderful weather, great food, inexpensive healthcare, and friendly local residents. It is not difficult to understand why many choose to call Thailand their second home. Number 9, Spain. Sunny Spain is
okay. Again, y'all know what I'm gonna say. Moving to Thailand long term as a black person is crazy. Don't do that. All that stuff the narrator said about it being friendly, blah blah blah. That's not gonna apply to your black behind. Just don't do that nonsense. Just don't do that nonsense. If any of y'all are doubting what I'm saying, just remind yourself, go into one of those beauty supply stores in your neighborhood that's owned by East Asians. Go into one of them restaurants in your neighborhood that's owned by East Asians. See how they treat you, and just think about if you want to live in a country full of people who will treat you like that, right? That's what's gonna happen to you if you move to Thailand. Okay, like let's be real. Like I don't even need to say much more on that. It's just stupid. Don't do that.
always a convincing choice for Black American expats who wish to enjoy a sophisticated working life or retirement in a European country. For starters, Spain has beautiful weather, a laid-back lifestyle, and spectacular beaches. It has one of the schools and self-employment visas that appeal to entrepreneurs, freelancers, and digital nomads. Spain is a very social country with an emphasis on spending quality time with loved ones and friends. The locals are friendly and trusting, and the calendar year is dotted with a multitude of festivals, celebrations, and community events. Outdoor activities, amazing cheap food, world-class wine, and its cultural richness all add to Spain's appeal. Number 10, Canada. Canada remains a top contender for Black.
Okay. Again, Spain, just like Portugal, Spain and Portugal are basically the same country, right? It's Iberia. Really the same group of people. I know the language is a little different. There's gonna, like anywhere, there's gonna be little small cultural differences, but that's basically the same group of people. So if you wouldn't move to Portugal, you should move to Spain. And you know, I'm telling y'all shouldn't move to Portugal long term from the U.S. So y'all also should not move to Spain long term. Okay. Um, you know, I love FC Barcelona. All right, I have to have respect for Real Madrid because of what they done. Okay, right? You know, I I mean, salsa dancing seems cool. Okay, I have some appreciation of Spanish culture, but you know, at the end of the day, those are white people. They're Portuguese brothers. Kicked off the age of exploration when the Europeans got in on, um, at least for the second time, right? Because obviously Romans and Greeks, that was the first time white people got in on oppressing us. But the Portuguese, their brothers, kicked off the second time white people began really getting in on oppressing us, and Spain was like number two in line doing that. And they have no remorse for that stuff. So because of that, as much as I might want to, you know, be able to go to the Camp Nou every week or whatever, I ain't moving to Spain, okay? Because I have common sense, and I think y'all should have common sense too, and don't move to Spain from the U.S. as a black person. All right, that long term, that's one of the craziest things you could do. Okay, I mean, maybe some of the only places worse to live at long term than Spain for a black person. Maybe you're talking like Sweden or somewhere up there. Like, just don't do that nonsense, man.
Black American expats, the most obvious reason being its proximity to the U.S. Other advantages include affordable education, cultural diversity, safety, a stable political landscape, a high quality of life, and its world-famous universal healthcare system. Canadian culture is a mixture of British, French, and American influences, all of which blend and sometimes compete in every aspect of cultural life, from filmmaking and writing to cooking and playing sports. Canadians are generally polite, tolerant, and accepting of immigrants. Their food culture is a changing landscape, heavily influenced by many different traditions, and it feels like there is a huge festival, celebration, or national holiday each and every month. With its unspoiled natural wilderness, Canada provides you with the privilege of experiencing many different adventurous outdoor activities, such as visiting a beach, hiking, or enjoying nature.
We appreciate the fact that you stayed with us on.
They ended their list with the craziest suggestion of all, which is to move to Canada. Canada ain't nothing but the U.S., but less black and colder. Why, as a black person, would you move from the U.S. to a place that is just like the U.S., except it's less black and it's colder? Why on earth would you do that to yourself, especially if you leave in the U.S. to save yourself from mass deletion? Because they said one advantage of Canada is that it's so close. That's the disadvantage. Because Canada's so close to the U.S., real talk, if the mass deletion sets off in the U.S., there's a good chance it'll set off in Canada too. And they'll have less work to do than the U.S. because there's less of us up there. But if you want to move up there, I mean, no. Jeez, you're like a mouse who just ran into an alligator's mouth. Why would you do some dumb stuff like that? Nah, that's talking about universal health care. You think their doctors are gonna treat your black behind well up there? Google medical racism. If you dumb enough to want to move to Canada with your black behind because you want some universal health care. Hey, God, do I even have to convince you? Black people don't trust the doctor. You want to move to Canada for universal health care. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Yeah, so overall, I have to give this video a dislike. Only 2 of their 10 suggestions were good. clearly run by some Negropeans, and I mean maybe some Caucasians are even behind this. You know, COINTELPRO is alive and well. Anyway, let's see what they have to say for the last 11 seconds, and then I'm gonna wrap up and call it a night.
Until the end. Thank you for spending time with us, and don't forget to like this video. Also, make sure you subscribe so that you never miss a video. Bye for now. We will see you tomorrow.
Ooh, okay, that was something. All right, let's go back to StreamYard. Wow. All right. Wait a minute. How do I show you on my face again? Oh, there we go. All right. Anyway, y'all got my thoughts on that video. Nothing personal against the people who made the video, but that was pretty stupid suggestions. 8 out of 10 of those suggestions are real stupid. But y'all can guess. You already know my overall criteria for where we should move to. Basically move to majority black countries. So that's somewhere in the black parts of the Caribbean, Sub-Saharan Africa, or Melanesia. I'm going to go into more depth on that next week when I do the lecture on why black people need to leave the U.S. and where we got to leave to, right? But y'all probably got the big picture of my opinion of what I'm saying from this. And I guess the last thought I want to leave y'all with, unless anyone has any questions, although I don't see any, so probably after I say this, I'll just call it a night. But the last thought I want to leave y'all with is that you gotta get rid of that white Uncle Tom westernized mindset when thinking about where to move to from the U.S. Because we're not moving there. You're not moving to get rich, okay? You're not moving because you're going to become a billionaire. You're not moving because you're going to get a nice car. You're not moving because you're going to get a nice skyscraper out there. You're not moving because you're going to have nice Western style healthcare out there. You're not moving for those reasons. You're moving to survive, okay? That is the reason you're moving. You're moving to prevent yourself from being deleted. You're moving so you will live to see tomorrow, okay? That's really the reason you're leaving, all right? So we just got to keep that in mind when thinking about this. But anyway, this has been another commentary action with me here on Chimoge's Comments America. Thank you all for watching. Thank you to those of y'all who've been here live. And thank you to those of y'all who are going to watch this on replay in the future outside of YouTube. So again, please, whatever platform you're on, please like the video, subscribe to or follow the channel, whatever the platform you're on says, and share it with other people you know so they can see it as well. And remember, I do these live streams every week on this channel on Sundays at 4 p.m. Eastern Time plus African Time. So just tune in anytime around 4 p.m. or later. Some point there, I'm going to do the live stream. But yeah, thank you all for joining me. Of course, as usual, the link to support me is in the description, right? We got PayPal, Cash App, Venmo. Even you can just use your card direct to support. It really helps me keep doing this. But thank you all so much, and see you next week.